Growth doesn't happen on weekends. It happens after work, not in big workshops, not in loud seminars, not when life finally calms down. It happens quietly, after dinner, after the house is silent, after the body is tired. This is the hour most men waste. They tell themselves they've earned rest. They scroll, they watch, they drift. And there is nothing wrong with rest. But there is something dangerous about never learning again. Quiet growth doesn't announce itself. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't post progress. It looks like a man opening a book when no one is watching. It looks like listening instead of talking. It looks like choosing one small lesson over one more distraction. Men who grow quietly understand something early. Their future is not built during working hours. Work pays the bills, and after hours decides who they become. This is where discipline lives, not in motivation, not in intensity, but in what a man chooses to do when nothing forces him. Tonight, no one is checking, no one is clapping, no one will reward you immediately. And that is exactly why this hour matters. After hours learning is not about ambition, it is about separation. Most men live the same day on repeat. They wake up, they work, they come home tired, and they shut down. Years pass, but the man does not change. Quiet growth begins when a man realizes something uncomfortable. His job will not upgrade him anymore. Work keeps him functional. After hours determines whether he evolves. Men who stop learning after work slowly harden. Their thinking becomes fixed. Their patience shrinks. Their options narrow. They don't notice it happening, but their world becomes smaller. The men who grow are not smarter. They are not luckier. They simply refuse to let exhaustion decide their future. They learn when it is inconvenient, when the couch is calling, when no one would blame them for stopping. This habit quietly separates men into two paths. One path leads to maintenance, the same income, the same frustrations, the same conversations, repeated for decades. The other path leads to expansion, clearer thinking, stronger judgment, more control over money, health, and family decisions. After-hours learning sharpens a man's edge without noise. It teaches him to see patterns others miss, to think one step ahead instead of reacting late, and most importantly, it keeps him mentally young even as the body ages. A man who keeps learning does not fear time. He uses it. That is why this hour matters. Because what you do after work is what quietly decides whether you stay replaceable or become dependable. I'm too tired sounds reasonable. It sounds responsible. It sounds earned. But over time, it becomes dangerous. Because most men are not too tired to learn. They are too tired to start. Fatigue does not destroy growth. Avoidance does. After work, exhaustion is real. The body is slower, the mind is heavy. Focus is harder to hold. But learning was never meant to be intense at this hour. It was meant to be light, consistent, and quiet. 10 pages, 1 chapter, 1 idea written down. The lie tells a man, wait until you have more energy. But that day rarely comes. Life does not get easier. Responsibilities grow. Energy becomes more valuable. Men who wait to feel ready stay stuck. Men who move while tired build resilience. This is the discipline most men misunderstand. They think growth requires force. It doesn't. It requires showing up gently when quitting would be easier. After hours learning is not about pushing harder. It is about refusing to abandon yourself at the end of the day. A man who keeps learning while tired sends a message to himself. I am not done. I still matter. My future is still being built. This habit protects him from mental decline, from bitterness, from becoming outdated in his own home. Children feel it. They see a father who continues to grow, a man who does not collapse into distraction every night. And over years, this small decision compounds, quietly, powerfully, without drama. The most dangerous nights are not the busy ones. They are the comfortable ones, where a man chooses numbness over growth, again and again. Men who grow quietly do not rely on willpower. They build systems that respect fatigue. After work, discipline must be simple. If it is complicated, it will fail. The system is not about how much you learn. It is about how easy it is to start. Quiet learners choose one place, one chair, one light, one book or topic at a time. No switching, no searching, no deciding. Decision fatigue kills consistency. So they remove decisions. They learn in small windows, 20 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes less. But they show up. They do not aim to finish books quickly. They aim to return tomorrow. This is where most men get it wrong. They want results. They want progress they can feel. Quiet growth feels invisible for a long time, but it is working. A man who studies calmly after work slowly rewires himself. His attention improves. His patience lengthens. His reactions soften. He becomes harder to provoke, harder to distract, harder to break. The system also has boundaries. No phone nearby, no notifications, no background noise pretending to be relaxing. This hour is not entertainment. It is maintenance of the mind, not for ego, not for money, but for clarity. Men who keep this system don't talk about it. They don't post about it. They simply show up night after night. And years later, people say, "He's steady. He thinks clearly. He always seems one step ahead." They never see the quiet hours that built him. Quiet learners don't notice change day to day, but over years, the difference becomes undeniable. They gain clarity, not more information, but better judgment. They react less. They choose more carefully. They don't rush into noise. This is what steady learning builds first, a calmer inner world. Quiet learners also gain confidence, not the loud kind, but the grounded kind. They don't need to dominate conversations. They don't need to prove intelligence. They know what they know. Their thinking becomes layered. They see second and third consequences. They anticipate problems before they arrive. This protects their families. Better decisions with money, better restraint in conflict, better presence at home. Children feel safer around men who think clearly. Wives feel steadier around men who don't panic. Over time, quiet learners also gain independence. They are harder to manipulate, harder to mislead, harder to replace, because their value is not tied to trends, but to understanding. Most importantly, they gain time. Learning sharpens efficiency. They waste less energy fixing avoidable mistakes. They repeat fewer errors. This gives them more patience for children, for aging parents, for themselves. Quiet growth does not make a man flashy. It makes him reliable. And reliability is rare. When pressure comes, and it always does, quiet learners don't freeze. They have trained their minds long before the moment arrived. That is the compound return of learning after hours. Not applause, not recognition. Just a man who becomes harder to shake with every quiet year. Every night offers the same quiet choice, not between success and failure, but between growth and drift. No one announces it. No one records it. No one will praise it. A man comes home. The day has taken its share. His body is tired. His mind wants relief. And still, A small window opens. He can numb himself, or he can invest quietly. He can disappear into distraction, or he can stay present with one page, one idea, one thought. This choice does not feel powerful. It feels ordinary. But ordinary choices repeated for years build extraordinary stability. Quiet men do not chase growth. They practice it. They don't wait for weekends. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They respect the hour after work. Because they understand. This is where their thinking is shaped. Their patience is strengthened. Their future is quietly protected. Tonight will pass either way. So will tomorrow. So will the years. The question is not whether time moves forward. The question is who you become while it does.